Good morning to all once again. But we had done till here, we were doing 4.4. We have to show these equations.
Good morning, ma'am.
We have to give geometrical, good morning, beta. We have to give geometrical representation of the equations given to us by treating them as an equation in one variable and then by treating them as an equation in two variables. When you treat a linear equation containing one variable as an equation in one variable, इक्वेशन में वैसे ही वन वेरिएबल दिया हुआ है और उसको हम ट्रीट भी वैसे ही कर रहे हैं कि इक्वेशन में एक ही वेरिएबल है, then it will be shown as a point on the number line. If you get the value of x from your equation, you can represent it on x-axis. That would mean the line that you draw, the number line that you draw, you can just name it as x dash. And if you get value of y from your equation, you can show it on y-axis. You can either draw a vertical number line or you can draw a horizontal number line. Vertical just because y-axis, when we show on the Cartesian plane, we represent it vertically. Since it's a number line, you can just draw a horizontal number line and name it as y dash. It will be y-axis. Now, when you treat your equation as an equation in two variables, there is one variable which is not there. And to introduce the term containing that particular variable, the coefficient will be taken as 0. This is what you want to do. The first thing here, we want to rewrite the equation as an equation in two variables. This is something you did in the first exercise where you were told how to rewrite or represent a given equation in standard form so that you could identify the values of the coefficients and the constant term. So I'm going to write this equation y equals to 3 or y minus 3 equals to 0. This is y minus 3 equals to 0. I can just rewrite this by introducing the term containing x. So right now I have only a term with y. I would like to introduce a term with x and the coefficient will be 0. And then this is a linear equation now containing two variables. This is the first step.
It is important to shift 3 there.
No, it's not necessary. I'm just writing in standard form. That's why I've kept all terms on left-hand side. You could leave a 3 on the right-hand side, no problem. It just helps your work easily. I think when you calculate the values, it's simpler compared to this one. So now I have a linear equation in two variables. In order to plot its graph, iska agar mujhe graph banana hai, which is the geometrical representation for this, we have to find out at least 3 solutions. So I'm going to find out 3 solutions for this linear equation that I have. And we have already done so many questions in the last exercise. So I'm going to use the values for x and y, 3 pairs, and then plot those points on the Cartesian plane, join the points in order to obtain the values, the graph for this linear equation in two variables. So you can use any value of x. Let's say x is 0. If I take x as 0, then I will have 0 plus y minus 3 equals to 0. This will give me y
0 plus 3.
This will give me y equals to 3. Let's use x as 1. So I again have y as...
Every time the value of y would be 3.
That's right. This is what I wanted you to observe. Whatever value of x you replace in your equation, the value of y will always come out to be 3. This is what your equation was saying to you. आपकी इक्वेशन यही तो कह रही थी कि y की वैल्यू 3 है, तो आप x की जो मर्जी वैल्यू पुट कर लो, y का आंसर हमेशा 3 आएगा. And the points that you get from here, the solution. So one is A, 0, 3, the first pair. The second pair, I'm naming it as B, it's 1, 3. Then the third pair, I'm naming it as C, this is 2, 3. The ordinate is same because y is 3 and the abscissa is changing. So abscissa is changing, but the ordinate remains same. When you plot these points will lie on the same line once you do that. Let's draw the graph and then see what happens. So you will be doing this on the graph sheet. Let's plot the points. A is 0, 3. Then B is 1, 3. This will be point B. And then we have point C. If I could mark it with a different color. So this will be point B, 1, 3. And then you can mark the third point, point C, which is 2, 3. And then draw a line passing through these points, which will give you the graph for the linear equation that you need here. So this line here, passing through A, B, C, represents the linear equation 0x plus 1y equals to 3 or minus 3 equals to 0, one and the same thing. Or you could write down that this is the equation for y equals to 3. So if you observe, अगर आपको इक्वेशन गिवन है इन वन वेरिएबल और आप उसकी ज्योमेट्रिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन कर रहे हो एज एन इक्वेशन टू वेरिएबल्स, इक्वेशन में सिर्फ एक ही वेरिएबल है, कोई भी वेरिएबल हो सकता है, सो उसमें उसकी रिप्रेजेंटेशन आपको कहा गया है that you are supposed to represent it geometrically by treating it as an equation in two variables. When you do that, you will see that it gives you a line in the Cartesian plane, and depending आपकी equation में कौन सा variable present था initially, you will get a line either parallel to x-axis or you will get a line parallel to y-axis. अगर आपको equation में y दिया है, as in this case, you will get a line parallel to x-axis. और अगर आपकी equation contain करती है single variable x, then you will obtain a line parallel to y-axis. If you are giving the geometrical representation for that given equation in two variables. Observation as such is not to be written in the answer as such, you can just note it down for yourself. It's given in the summary part of your chapter later. Points 5th and 6th. You can always go through the summary of the chapter to revise what you've done. Anyone who's making the graph, should I wait?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm done.
The second part is we have 2x plus 9. And first of all, we want to give its geometrical representation as an equation in one variable. So it will be a point on the number line. For that, I would first of all like to find the value of x from here. So this will be 2x equals to minus 9, or I can write down the equation once again. So this is minus 9, x comes out to be minus 9 by 2, or you can write down negative 4.5. I'm converting in decimal so that it's easier for you to represent. The fraction could be a different fraction other than the one with denominator 2. And for that, you will have to do the fractional representation. the way you did in 7th standard and 8th standard, if you can recall, representing rational numbers on the number line. The denominator 2 is making it easier. Since I have the value of x, I'm going to show the value on the number line named as x dash. You can just show it here. This will be point. For the second part, when I have to represent this as equation in two variables, I don't have the term containing y. I'm going to introduce by writing the coefficient as 0. So this is the linear equation that I have. I'm going to find out 3 pairs of solutions for this and then plot the graph. There's one thing you can do when you have a linear equation just in one variable and you are giving its geometrical representation as equation in two variables. Realizing that your equation was an equation in x, I'm going to substitute values of y, because whatever value of y I put in my equation, x will always come out to be -9/2. This is what I'm going to do, rather than putting different values of x and then observing y. Y will not have any value. Y will be not defined. So what you can do is you can just use y as 0 and then y as 1 and y as 3. And corresponding to that, you can obtain values for x. So y equals to 0 implies that you have 2x plus 0 plus 9 equals to 0. From here, x comes out to be -9/2. Then taking y equals to 1, you will have 2x plus 0 plus 9 equals to 0. From here again, you have x as -9/2. And then further, taking x as 3, you could take x as 2, I've taken y as 2, I have taken y as 3. Doesn't matter.
Ma'am, why are we not substituting the values of x?
You can substitute the value of x, but you will never get the value for y. You could just try that. See. If you put x as 0, right? If you put x as 0, then you have 0 plus 0 plus 9 equals to 0. 0 y था ना, वो 0 हो जाएगा और यहाँ पे आपके पास 2 into 0 हो जाएगा. ये बन जाएगी इक्वेशन आपकी. So this actually is incorrect, because at a given time, the coefficient of the terms with x and y cannot be together 0. So this is not possible. Let's use any other value of x. So we have 2 plus 0 times y plus 9 equals to 0. So this becomes 11 equals to 0. This is also wrong. And why this is happening, if I just ignore that the coefficient of y is 0, I could rewrite this as, see, this is 0 times y equals to -11. Y will be equal to -11/0, but this is not defined. You cannot have a rational number where the denominator is 0. This is the problem here. So ये गलत वैल्यू निकलेगी y की, ये वैल्यू तो एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करती.
Okay,
That's why,
ma'am.
yeah, that's why I'm saying that you better substitute the value of the other variable, the one which is not present. जिसने zero होना ही है. So from here you will get x as -9/2. Let's make the graph for this. You can keep fractional values for representation. I have converted them into decimal numbers, and my points will be -4.5, 0. B will be -4.51. C will be -4.5 and 3. So this is point A with coordinates -4.50. Then I have B with coordinates -4.5 and 1. And then I have point C with coordinates, I've got 3 here. So let's just go a step above here. And then you can draw a line which passes through these 3 points. And write down the equation alongside. This is the line or the graph for the linear equation 2x plus 0y plus 9 equals to 0, or simply stating x equals to -9/2. And you can observe that this is a line parallel to y-axis. Is it done?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone who's writing? The next chapter that we are doing is chapter number 8.